How are you now? I'm James Whelan, stockbroker. I don't even know what I am. I'm head of data distribution here at Invest House and a bunch of other things, small caps, Investor Pulse, all sorts of amazing things. Joined here, I know you are listening to the Theory of Thing Investment podcast. I am joined here by good friend and comrade Moss, Heath Moss of HLM Investments over in Adelaide. Mate, how are you now?
Very well, mate. I'm very well. Yes, I know who I am. I'm the portfolio manager here at HLM Investments.
Head portfolio manager.
Yeah. But there's only one of me here anyway. So, but
the Scott Morrison of giving yourself roles, mate. It's sensational.
Exactly. You need to form a committee. But you're the man. That's who you are. You're the man.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. That means a lot. Coffee drinker, owner of Poodle, father of two, and that I know of, and much more here in Sydney. Mate, speaking of coffee, I was just noticing. What are you drinking? A blend? I noticed that you were sipping a blend over there.
It's just from the local cafe.
How wonderful!
I like to support them. They're very nice coffee and very nice people
in
over
this
there.
economy.
Yeah, in this economy, the coffee's not too expensive here in Adelaide. Like you can get a large for like $5.50, I think it is. If you're not adding all the crap,
that's okay. $3 coffee, mate. Bring it back. $3 coffee. This is.
I think if you go to the petrol
$5.50.
station, you can get it for $3. But I wouldn't touch that stuff.
Fancy Adelaide coffees.
They supporting little South Australian companies. You know, Fluoro Milk. That's a South Aussie company, actually owned by some ex-Crows players. So, it's generally if I drop the kids off at school, or if the wife drops the kids off at school, we get a coffee on the way home.
You know what's funny is that the stat is that 45%. You don't know this, but I know this. 45% of the male population of South Australia are former Crows players.
Unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. I had a 1 in 2 chance almost, and I didn't make the cut.
You're a part of the 55, man. That's just how. That's be okay with the other half.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not that fancy. Although our head of capital markets, Nick Burmester, he stepped out and actually asked if I wanted one, and I don't, because I drink black stuff in a cup. That's blend 43. And the old joke of blend 43. If you think your job is hard, or you think your job sucks, but think about the guy that had to find blend 43. 40, 41, 42. Hey, everyone stop. Stop. Put your cups down. I found it. Everyone stop. Taste this. What's that? That's 43. That's what that is. We're done. We're good.
Sadly, I can't drink the instant stuff anymore. I grew up through uni just drinking the international roast stuff and just downing that, trying to cram in, the night before an exam or get a test, an assignment done the night before, downing all those international roasts. But no, it's just can't have it now. It's just, I'm sorry.
I've got no problem with it. I only have about 35% of my taste anyway after a fly spray incident when I was young. So I guess that's why I do favour the blend 43. I don't think that the Nescafe people are really going to have us as a sponsor, or we're not going to have them as a sponsor at any time, because it's sure as hell not going to have them on it here anymore. But if you do want to give us a call, then please reach out. Blend 43.
Nescafe and Gazman.
Like making love on a Tuesday. For no reason at all. I've been married for 19 years. So trust me, that's an act.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Where are we now? How are you now?
Yeah, good. Yeah. So the markets last night looked like they were a little bit grumpy. To start the week, it looked like we'd sort of got past whatever was happening, but last night it sort of turned on its dial again and came back down quite hard. Nasdaq off 2%, S&P off 1.5% or so. So things are. And I don't know. I think I put it in the group chat, but I don't know if you saw that going around social media. We have a group chat
as well that does not trade. Just so that everyone is aware of that, we do have a group chat. There is no inside information or trading or anything like that. There's no wall crosses or anything like that. We do talk about equities and markets, though. So just so that everyone is aware of that, nothing outside the regulations or rules.
Exactly.
Joining us on this one. It's okay.
But yeah, what was that stat going around this morning on social media from the Compound, when 115 stocks or more have experienced 7% one-day declines.
Is this the chart? Is this the chart?
This is the chart I said. It was 7% declines.
This is the most confusing
thing
I've ever seen. Okay.
Then there is
Go for the start, because I got to put it up here.
All
Go
right,
for the start. I'm going to
put it up. Put it up.
Hang on.
Come on.
Okay.
Hurry up. Come on.
Keep talking, because it's hello everyone who's listening to this amazing the magic of podcasting brought to you by. Here we go.
Yeah.
Screen
Financial markets podcast, and we've talked about coffee and
where's the Twitter?
Fly spray
Okay,
and losing taste.
Right. That's it. That's what you got.
That's it. So yeah, when there's been 100 in the S&P 500, when there's been 115 stocks or more experience a 7% in a single day drawdown, then we're headed for a correction. The average correction is about 34%. But having said that, apart from the tech bust, every other time this has happened, we'd already been 10 to 20% down. So it'd been a continuation of what sort of selling there has been. So we're down, 2% from highs on the S&P 500 at the moment. My view is this is more rotation at the moment than any sort of correction, a rotation and a repricing of risk in the SaaS sector. Because that's where I think out of the 115 stocks, I reckon 114 would be SaaS stocks. So,
when 115 more, I've got to read this again. When 115 or more stocks fell, this is from the 500.
Yep.
When 115 or more stocks fell at least 7% in a single day across a rolling 8-day window, the S&P is over average drawdown 7%. That's down 34%. The average drawdown when rolling 8-day count of stocks down 7% is over 115. Okay, so we're set for an average fall. Here we go. Have we hit that? We hit that. That's the red dot on the right.
This is the red. Oh, you can't see mine.
Where are you pointing?
On the far right, that first dot on the far right.
Yeah, the first dot. That's the dot. So it hit.
That's this week over the last 8 days.
So it means that theoretically we've got a 34% average. 34% is the likely amount that we will fall in the next whenever.
Yeah. So
I can believe. At what stage does the Attorney General start arresting pedophiles on the Epstein list?
I think we're not gonna see one arrest on that list.
But if the Dow drops below 50,000, she's gonna have to get to work.
Yeah. It's just I saw a thing the other day. Yeah, it was a bit of a shambles, wasn't it?
Bit of a shambles, mate. That's real good commentary. Thank you very much for that.
But yeah, it's a bit. Markets are nervous, obviously, and it's this whole AGI is basically here. I think I sent that article across to you guys in the group chat as well, talking about a guy that was working at a tech firm that does AI, is working with AI, and he's basically saying his job now is defunct. He is a coder, and the AI is coding for its own AI now. And what used to, and this has only come up since the last couple of weeks when Opus at Anthropic and ChatGPT 5.3 were released. So that's only 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's saying the leap that those two versions have taken is phenomenal. He said he used to sit there and go, okay, I'll give it instructions to code something up for me. And he'd have to go back through, fix errors and stuff. He said it was pretty good, but he'd have to go back and fix errors. And he says he gives it an instruction in plain English, and 4 hours later comes back and it's perfectly done. He doesn't have to touch it.
Quote. The quote here. I'll tell the AI, quote, I want to build this app. Here's what I should do. Here's roughly what it should look like. Figure out the user flow, the design, all of it. And it does. It writes tens of thousands of lines of code. Then, and this is the part that would have been unthinkable a year ago, it opens the app itself. It clicks through the buttons. It tests the features. It uses the app a way a person would. If it doesn't like how something looks or feels, it goes back and changes it on its own. It iterates like a developer would, fixing and refining until it's satisfied. Only once it has decided the app meets its own standards does it come back to me and say, it's ready for you to test. And when I test it, it's usually perfect. I'm not exaggerating. That is what my Monday looked like this week.
That's AGI. That is here. That is now. And
that's why the markets are getting spooked.
Yeah.
And not the reason, but if you want to go, oh, why is tech selling off? Why is SaaS selling off? Why is software selling off? Why are all these things that were supposed to be using this for the greater good selling off? It's because we're now in this next world where they're now being replaced, and you can now actually start to cull huge amounts of your tech workforce. The guys who are actually doing this stuff. Yeah.
But I think, on the same hand, I think it is well overdone. I think this is a little bit like DeepSeek. What was that, a year ago? Or
DeepSeek moment?
DeepSeek moment?
Yeah.
I think I think if you're an enterprise-facing SaaS, so your SaaS is integrated into business and corporates, then the chances of you being disrupted is far less than if you're a customer-facing SaaS. So, Salesforce are far less to be disrupted than, say, a Life 360 here in Australia. And the reason being is corporations move at a glacial pace. When they move technology, when they implement technology, it takes a long time. There's a lot of things a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape, a lot of concern about security, etc. So Anthropic or whoever it is may come up with some whiz-bang app, but they're going to take years and years to get that implemented. And not only that, they're usually on long-term contracts with whoever their Salesforce or whoever it is now. They're usually on very, very long-term contracts, and they're quite watertight, so they can't just break them and move to the new shiny toy. It may compress prices and whatnot, and it may reduce volumes a little bit, but I think it is well overdone, and a lot of companies will actually, they won't be disrupted by AI. It will be, they'll use it to their advantage. They'll integrate these sorts of bots into their own sort of already existing software and improve the service of their customers already and probably reduce prices and increase margins. Now, on the opposite hand, if you and I, if someone like Life 360 who's basic security to tell your child is at all times, etc., Anthropic comes up with a replica of that for a fraction of the price because it's normally a monthly contract. Well, you and I can just change at a drop of a hat.
Exactly.
It's quite
I've got no
easy.
loyalty to those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Our loyalty is to price, really.
Yeah. I don't need to be part of a big ecosystem of other people spying on their kids either.
Exactly.
Right? It's if there's just a way of just going, okay, here it is, send a message back. That's right.
Yeah.
There's no moat.
No.
Is that a good way of summarizing
exactly.
it? There's no moat. There is no moat anymore. And moat is for those of you who actually did study economics in university. I'm not one of them. That's one of your Porter's 5 forces. I think it is. I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Moats are important.
Yep, there's all that sort of.
Thanks.
So I think it's overblown to a bit. Like companies here in the ASX that I think have these moats. Pro Medicus, Technology One, WiseTech would be my top three. And I'm a buyer of all those three at current prices.
You're a buyer of WiseTech at these current prices?
Yes, I am. I'm a buyer. It's to integrate
our guy
and to penetrate the logistics and shipping container market is extremely difficult. And these things already run on legacy software and don't move very quickly. Like I said, these enterprises move very, very slowly. And the moats that WiseTech have built around the existing business and the total addressable market are just too high for anything just to quickly jump over and take away.
Excellent. Well, on that note, let's now switch. It's funny because I mentioned WiseTech because our young Oscar, who's down in Melbourne, who's part of our sort of derivative support, but also does some amazing work calling out clients and onboarding new clients. And he's my eyes and ears down in Melbourne, which is good. And g'day, Oscar, if you're listening. You're doing some amazing work, mate. He actually said, I reckon WiseTech is a go here. And I went, oh.
Yep.
I think got a little bit of hair. A little bit of hair on the chest here. Yeah, okay.
I'd have Pro Medicus number 1 and WiseTech 2 and Technology One number 3 with a 5-year horizon. Yeah. But anyway.
There you go. There's your 3.
I will get my screen up and going. Not that there's heaps to talk about.
While you do that, I'm going to talk about what I've got going on next week. I will be in Fremantle for the RIU Explorers Conference. I am Fremantle. You got to accentuate the last part of that word. Never waste a trip to WA. I'm going to have some great catch-ups with some amazing companies. We've got some beautiful partnerships with companies that work with us on small caps, generally on the Invest House side of things as well. Star player right now, Broken Hill Mines, front row sender. Remember, we had Patrick on a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Walter, talking bits and pieces. I will be catching up with the CEO of Broken Hill Mines next week for a special exclusive interview from the conference, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to working with Broken Hill in the future. Our guy just did a mine site with them at the start of the week, trip out to Broken Hill on a very small plane. It's so funny seeing some people do not like flying those little very small planes.
Yeah.
Out to Broken Hill, had a kick around. They've got, I'm not kidding, it's my favorite play at the moment, getting away from the tech stuff that you can look at now. That's my side of things. So there you go. All right, Heath, back over to you.
Well, it's one thing AI can't disrupt hard assets like commodities.
Correct.
And I think
and especially if everything poops its pants, silver is probably going to get another bid, right? So there you go.
Exactly. And I suppose the only two areas it really can't disrupt at the moment are the actual chip makers, because we need chips for the AI and hard commodities. But yeah, I got Broken Hill Mines up on the screen at the moment. It's done pretty well considering the volatility in the market. But what are we? SPX. So you can see here, I mean, with all the, the worry and concerns about what's happened overnight, etc., we're down like 2% from all-time highs on the S&P 500. So it's like at the moment, like I said before, I think we're seeing a bit of rotation, and some of that rotation is going into resources and resources stocks, I think. And here in Australia, some of that's going into financial as well. The banks' earnings season is on here, our half-yearly earnings season.
Yep.
And the banks have
CBA
outperformed.
Buying back.
Yep.
More buyback.
Yep. All
ANZ
outperformed.
Caught a bid yesterday, didn't it?
Yep. And Westpac this morning. I think, and then banks will be a net beneficiary from AI as well.
For sure. Sorry. Common was on last night. G'day, Matt. I know he listens. He does, actually. I know he does. Matt Common was on one of those ones, Fear and Greed, I think it was, or one of those ones talking about how they're utilizing it. I got about 10 words into it, and then someone called me, and so I didn't catch the end of it, but get that on the schedule and have a listen to how he sees it doing, because he's a very smart chap. Big future ahead for the young man. I think if the S&P drops, now Pam Bondi said if it drops below the 200 moving average, that's where she's going to start arresting pedophiles.
Okay.
So that's your line.
Something to distract from the poor performance of the S&P 500. So it's not all, it is far from correction at the moment. It could quickly turn into that. And like I said, with that stat before, 34% average drawdown if this certain scenario happens. I'm not convinced yet we're in for a 34% drawdown. 10%.
No one is ever convinced, apart from the small handful of told you so punters that are out there. No real market person is actually just like, I reckon there's a good 40% in this. It's like,
true. That is actually a very true.
Could be 5 or 10. For it's just like, that 30 came out of nowhere.
Yeah, unless you're Michael Burry and you've predicted 10 of the last two.
That's the handful. That's the handful of just crazies. Yeah, that's all right. It's okay.
Yeah. So that's S&P 5. NASDAQ, that's the Russell. NASDAQ about 5% off, which is really good considering the IGV. I'll bring that up. That is the software index in the US. That is, what is that? Almost 32% off as of last night. There was a bit of a bounce. If we zoom right in, there was a little bit of a bounce there. So
if you draw a thick enough line, you've got some support.
Exactly. So that's off 32. Our tech sector is off 36 at the moment. It's really, really being hammered. The Russell down 2% at the moment, so nothing.
Yep.
But we saw volatility return to gold and silver. Gold was off.
I think. Wait, sorry, mate. Go back to Russell. I'm pointing at the screen like I just did. Go back to Russell. If you want to keep up with this narrative, which is fair, I've got no problem with this at all. But if you want to keep up with the idea that incumbents are getting their lunch eaten by the idea that you could just have something come in, and then you've got players that are going to be small cap, potentially unprofitable, that are going to be in this index, in the Russell 2000, 5,000, 8,000. They're the ones that are going to be, okay, we've got this AI thing, now we're cracking into it. And they're coming off such a low base that they're going to see sales, users, anything, revenue tick up from nothing to, a couple of 100 million potentially.
Yeah.
And that will completely reshape the change of it. It's a potential that if you can put a Venn diagram over software and Russell 2000, you're going to find a small segment of companies that you probably want to have a look at.
Around 15% of the Russell is also financial services, banks. All the regional banks are in here as well. So.
Well, watch out, because wealth management cop a bit of a touch up in the States. They're talking about it impacting the wealth management sector too. So I'd be hesitant there.
Yep.
I'm looking at small guys going, we've got a tech thing, literally in a working out of a shop. Where we've just put this in front of 2,000 people have just picked it up. It's fantastic, and that's where the play is going to be. But yeah, so just careful. I wouldn't buy the whole index. I'll just say just try and find out.
Get a quality filter over that or something like that, like the Qual ETF, which is
very good.
Yep.
Diagrams.
Yes.
Sorry, we're talking about pressures. You went to PMs. Yep.
Yeah. Gold fell 3% overnight, down a little bit again in Asian trade. US dollar, I think, strengthened at last night.
And I'm happy to say that now this may have been because the Israelis were in town this week, but there was no line outside ABC. ABC bullion, no queue, no nothing.
No queue.
Are we buyers? Are we buyers on the queue? On the no queue?
On the no queue. I don't know. I mean, according to this trend line, I mean, it should come back to 4,500, 4,600. So another 300 down. So yeah, but gold came off 3%. Silver was off 10%. So
I think silver to not be off 10%.
Yeah, I think silver.
There's a 200.
I'll start talking about accumulating more silver in the 60s. I think.
Yeah.
If we move that across, and that's out the way. Yeah, down here, previous highs around the 55 mark to 60 mark. I think that's where it will end up settling. Because a lot of this run up here, I think, is paper trade stuff. Is all speculation with commodities.
Oh, that was all crazy bank manipulation stuff, mate. Up there, I don't want to even get bogged down in that. That's the
fundamental stuff behind silver is still there.
Yeah,
but current prices, I'm just sitting on my hands a bit. What else have we got here? Not much else. I think Bitcoin is still taking a bath, and it looks terrible. Oil, where are we? There we go. Oil up here.
Show me an energy index, please.
Oh, what's the energy index?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Damn it. You've made that up. You don't know what you're doing. First day on the Bloomberg terminal. Here we go. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Energy, S&P BSE Energy. Is that it?
Energy index, live data. That's S&P. No, I want here USA. Anyway, it's right on a resistance line, long-term resistance line, and looks amazing.
That's not it. But yeah, anyway.
Thanks, man.
Oil looking better.
Try SP.
SPNY. Nothing.
Okay, I'm an idiot. That's right. I can't believe I can't remember what the name of the energy.
Neither can I. XEJ is the one on the 200 locally. XEJ is the S&P ASX 200. So
SP 500 energy sector GSP. We're going to try it. Bear with us, people. This is two freaking morons trying to find like it's the monkeys at the start of Space Odyssey.
It's not that.
Anything? Pick one of those ones. What was wrong with them?
They're all Goldman Sachs warrants.
That will track. That'll track what you want to track pretty well.
Here's the Australian Energy Index, which is probably the best we're going to get for today. It is, like you said, it's right at that resistance there around 9,500. What are we, 9,200 at the moment? We have seen companies like Santos and Woodside and whatnot catch a bid locally, and that is on the premise that we're starting to see some production forecasts for full year 26 won't be wound back, and that is on the back of shale oil in the US coming right back, and rig counts, etc., and pull right back, simply because it is costing more to produce oil than it is they're getting back. So we may be in a situation where the energy sector improves. I still believe long term, we don't have enough oil, we don't have enough gas, especially with this AI data center rollout and, the electrification and automation of everything.
Yeah.
So I am a big believer in energy long term, but short term, it's really, really tough to call this one. So, I did buy some Woodside around 22 and Santos, I think it was below $6 briefly that I bought those. And they're back up around 25 and over $6 now. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's my take on energy. Yeah.
All right. We're mindful of time, 25.
Yeah.
I've got The one pick that I've got. Are you okay if I cut from this now? Is this all right?
Yeah. I'll stop sharing.
You've had your time. You've had your time in the sunshine. Now it's time to shift off. One of the best companies that I spoke to this week was ADR.
ADR. Yep.
They've got med tech, so they've actually got a little thing. It is.
Yes.
I work in the small cap space, so everyone just bear with me. Oh, it's a tiny. It's like, I think that based on what they've got some recurring revenues. A very sharp CEO who was out in town this week and last week. She is amazing. Occasionally you see these companies where you have someone who actually knows their stuff and actually sells it really well.
Yep.
Sometimes you get red flags. Someone doesn't know what they're talking about, sells it well. That's a red flag for me. Because they're a little bit too spivvy. Someone that really knows what they're talking about but can't sell to save themselves. That's awful because investors just don't get what they're saying. She's great. Dawn had her on the show. I had her on Small Caps the other day. That's a company I want to have a really, really, really strong look at on that one. They've got some good stuff coming out of America that is going to enhance their straight line. It's basically, they've got a tech that senses all of your asthma for respiratory stuff, all of your asthma stuff, to know the exact way that you use things, hold things, how much you take in, so that they can better tell you that you are doing something wrong or doing something right. Also to remind you to make sure that you adhere to the medical plan that you're put on. Insurers want this to happen because the more adherence that you have, the less hospital time you spend for proper respiratory stuff, which insurers also love because that means that they have to pay out less for hospital time in there. So they're on board with it. So they've got some big stuff coming out with insurers, and that is going to increase their top line, which then obviously will increase their bottom line, depending on mathematics that happens in that direction. So that's my tip of have a really good look at those ones and just sink your teeth into that. I'm pretty happy with what's taken place this week. Had them around talking to a bunch of brokers, and I'm pretty happy with those guys there. If you're looking for something that's not in the mining space too.
Cool. Excellent.
Meanwhile, Monday was the worst Super Bowl I have ever seen in my damn life. And I wish I had not taken time out of my life to watch that damn thing. That was a complete waste of time.
It was boring.
I got nothing. And even worse is that I had work to do and I had a laptop and I was tapping away and doing the whole thing, but the guys were sitting in the rain because that's what they had to do. And so I had to find somewhere else. I was tapping it in the background. So, you know what? I shouldn't have taken time. It was an annual leave day for me, which I need. But great.
Not every Super Bowl can be a big one. And there was that stat I said yesterday in the group as well, how the winning team, Seahawks players, a lot of players will end up having to pay to have played the Super Bowl. Their winnings
lost money on that.
Yeah, $178K for winning the Super Bowl, but because of fleet taxes in California, and because they were there for 7 days, that cost him $250,000. 8 days. Yeah, $250,000.
8 days. 8 days out of there. They take your entire compensation and factor it in, so you get taxed on the whole amount, not on the days that you're actually there.
Yeah, 3.5% of his total salary.
Even if he'd lost, he was still going to be out a bunch of money. So either way, the only winner was California. And I think that the NFL is probably going to have to do something about that situation in future, because teams are going to be like no, I know that there is incentive on winning a Super Bowl ring, but it's just a bizarre thing that goes on. It is. Congratulations to what's his face for winning the freestyle overnight. His name, I did have it up before, but I've completely forgotten. I know this because I was up with the dog, and I switched it on. I switched on Stan just as he stuck his landing, and I went, and that was his win.
In the Winter Olympics. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm talking about the other thing that's going on with the skiing. C. Woods, freestyle. Jackass. Yeah, C. Woods. It's his name. Cameron Woods? Cooper.
Yep.
Cooper Woods absolutely stuck it. Well done on the gold medal. I think that's our first for the games so far. Let's check the medal count.
Probably
Australia, 1 gold. We don't need any others. We don't do other colours.
Only one colour for us. Last year, as part of the national conference, we had Steve Bradbury come and chat to the whole group.
Legend.
I tell you what, that was a fantastic story. And even though, he there was a lot of luck involved behind him winning that gold medal, the crap he had to go through to get to where he did in his career.
He still had to be there, mate. He still had to be there.
It was phenomenal. Right. We're talking a 20-inch gash in his leg that almost killed him one stage from an ice skating fall or collision. So, fantastic story if you want to ever listen to him.
Yeah, absolutely tragic. All right, I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm looking forward to seeing anyone and everyone out in Fremantle next week. We'll be landing about Tuesday at about 9:30, something like that. And I'll be going in. Really looking forward to, like I said, it's a rare opportunity for me to get out to WA. I should do it more. I do apologise, but I'll be out there. We'll get on the lash. on the Thursday after the conference. I reckon I'll probably have a few beverages. Anyone who's out there in that particular part of the world, looking forward to seeing you out there. Heath, any final words?
Thank you. You have a good time in Fremantle, and we'll catch everyone later.
Good on you guys. Stay safe. All the best. Have yourself a good one, and go Australia every single step of the way. Congratulations. Bye.